Hello and welcome back. I have returned to my battleship at my home base and I've brought some new weapons for this beast. Now, transporting the weapons was kinda funny because I couldn't take my transport ship. There were too many gate camps around, so I had to take my interceptor and transport them piece by piece because the cargo capacity on these little ships isn't the best, but it did pay off in the end. And let me show you the fit. So, at the moment, as you can see, I'm using C-type large artillery. These turrets are known to have very nasty alpha damage. They can one-shot cruisers with maxed out skills. At the moment I'm hitting on average 10,000 to 15,000 damage per hit. Not bad, could be a lot higher of course, and it will be a lot higher. They have long range, very slow rate of fire and very poor tracking. So with these turrets you will rely on range, and in most cases you will have to rely on your teammates. Now the rest of the modules are pretty common. One scrambler, the target painter, large Nosferatu, and one web. Now the large Nosferatu should be replaced with one large neutralizer, but I did not have one of these around, so I replaced it with a Nosferatu. As for the rigs, the usual rigs that I've been using so far, now what's funny, these rigs are actually working pretty well with the large artillery, and they're not that good with the large autocannons because the current rigs focus on damage, not on rate of fire mostly. Now, large artillery have very poor tracking, and I remember people telling me to use tracking computers. And yeah, using tracking computers is definitely smart with these turrets. I have two of these with me. Now you can replace that one gyro with one of these hardeners or with the damage control. I recommend and I like to use hardeners because they so far seem to be working quite well. In most cases, when I am doing anomalies, I don't need tracking. I never had any problems with tracking, so while I'm doing anomalies, I will replace the tracking computers with gyros. And as I've said earlier, the large Nosferatu can be replaced with one neutralizer. It is generally mostly for defense against interceptors and frigates, because their capacitor isn't the best and one neutralizer can eliminate their capacitor very quickly. Instead of one Nosferatu for PvE, I like to use dual target painters. They increase the signature radius of your target, making it easier to hit. The Scrambler is also there mainly as defense against fast ships with micro drives. Well, I use one large micro drive to improve the ship's velocity. And now let me just take my triple gyro setup and let me use one invulnerability field. Now this fit is not for PvP, this fit is not for solo roaming or solo storylines. This is a fit that I like to use while I am in a fleet. It focuses on the damage output, it can improve the rate of fire a lot. It also improves the damage output on the turrets, which is good for alpha damage. I think there is a 15% bonus combined once you activate one of these gyros, so that's a decent damage bonus that you can get. And all that gives me around 10,000 to 15,000 damage per cycle. On average, not bad. Now let's quickly simulate the fit. First with the dual tracking computers, because they are, I think, very important. 1,200 DPS with one gyro, that's not bad. Now here I noticed something weird. It didn't increase my optimal and accuracy falloff, and I think I'll have to check out the specs out in a different way, because in the fitting window it does not show the active effect, so that's kind of weird. Should be over 100 kilometers with ease. Its resistance not bad, again built mostly for a fleet. 1.3 kilometer per second speed with the micro warp drive, not bad for a battleship, not bad at all. Okay, now let's take another closer look at the range of the turrets. Now that this is better, 100 kilometer optimal and 124 kilometer accuracy falloff. So in theory, I should be able to hit targets well above 200 kilometers. Not bad at all. That makes this ship very good for sniping. And of course, people like to use this ship for PvP with the large artillery because of the very high alpha damage. And now let's take a look at the triple gyro setup. 1.7 thousand DPS, that's not bad, actually looking pretty good for a large artillery. There is a definite improvement in the rate of fire and the damage output. Of course, that lasts for 30 seconds. That's how long the gyros last. And of course, the resistances are the same, and the ship's velocity is also the same at 1.3 kilometer per second. Well, I can't wait for tier 4 rigs to be available. It will make this ship a lot more lethal and a lot faster. And angel ships are all about that speed and damage output. Now, here I am at the gate. This is, I think, it should be one scout anomaly or one inquisitor anomaly. Either way, it is one special anomaly, tier 10. This is deep null, and well, I am in a fleet. Like I said before, in a fleet you don't have to worry about missing targets because you have your allies, and most of us are using target painters, webs, scramblers, which makes slow ships easy targets, and of course it makes fast ships a easy target as well. Now, large artillery have very poor tracking, and you don't want to be anywhere near fast frigates or destroyers, because these ships can outmaneuver those turrets without a problem. So with these turrets you play the keep at range game and you don't let anything get close to. Now again, this is a special situation because I am in a fleet and I'm not too much worried about these interceptors. I have at least 7 other ships on my side that are well equipped to deal with those. So if you are planning to do a solo fit for this ship using artillery, I recommend that you keep at least 80 plus kilometer range from your targets. And in storyline missions you should focus the fast ships first, because those fast ships can give you a lot of problems if they end up getting too close. The velocity for this ship is making the keep at range game very easy. You can literally outmaneuver most of these NPCs without a problem. That is especially true for storylines. Of course, some of the storyline NPCs can be very deadly because they use also micro drives and they can be very fast. Not as fast as they used to be back a couple months ago, where battlecruisers were going 5,000 meters per second, but some interceptors can go around 3k, so those should be your primary target. The range should keep you safe from all of these fast ships, while the micro drive that they're using will make them a easy target because it will increase their signature radius. That and your dual or single target painter will also make them very easy to hit from a distance. And well, these turrets are all about distance and they're all about the alpha damage. Now you are going to see some nice hits here, on average 10 to 15,000 per hit. In some cases it goes lower. Now for these turrets you need to try to get the transfer velocity to be as minimal as possible, because that can affect your hit rate. Keep in mind the tracking on these turrets. Sorry for the weird cut, the recorder stopped recording for some reason, so I had to restart it. Okay, so far no issues whatsoever, doing very good damage on these battleships. The sound effects for the large artillery are also well done. Even the models are well detailed. Now, wouldn't recommend to be at this range if you are doing a tier 10 storyline. In storylines, I would keep at least 80 plus kilometers from the closest ship. You can, in theory, hit them even at 100 plus kilometers. Artillery cannons are known for their insane range. The Tornado is a good example for that. Tornado is one of those ships that I want to fly, but the Cinnabal does some things a lot more efficient than that battlecruiser, so I'm still kind of waiting for tier 9, and I'm waiting for the Tornado 2, because that ship might be a slight upgrade over the Cinnabal. The range of these artillery cannons is just amazing, and it makes storylines easy. Now, one problem is the long cycle, over 10 seconds, and that might, prolong some storylines. That's why I prefer to use autocannons. Even on this ship, I prefer to use autocannons for this type of combat, because they have good rate of fire and they have good DPS, of course, which makes clearing these anomalies faster, and it makes them less boring, at least for me. Honestly, I almost fell asleep while using the artillery cannons on this battleship, mostly because I have to wait so long for the cycle to complete. The 3 gyros definitely help with that, because the gyros also have a effect on the weapon cycle, but still the cycle can be quite long, and skills can improve that, rigs can improve that, but I did not want to trade a rate of fire on artillery cannons over alpha damage. These turrets are all about the alpha damage. And well, as you can see, we are definitely mowing down all of these ships. This is still the same scout anomaly, 3rd room. Now, people usually don't like scout anomalies, but they're still special anomalies, and they can still give decent loot. And I can understand why it's not the most popular special anomaly, because at best you get like 100 million. I remember that only once I got a little bit over 200 million from one of these scouts. It was a lucky catch, and it was, I think, couple. Well, let me be accurate here. I think that was like 2 months ago, where I got lucky with one scout anomaly, and that was while I was hunting too. So that was double luck. But now this is a tier 10 scout, and well, might be good loot. People usually say that the loot isn't that good, so we will see what will happen. The next wave spawned in, and let's see. I've noticed that these turrets do very nice very nice damage, mostly on armors and of course on hulls, because on armors they do, I think they do mostly explosive and kinetic damage, while on shields and they do thermal damage, and on hull they also do either kinetic or explosive. That's why these turrets are mowing down armors and hulls without a problem. On shields, they do good damage, but but shields have a little bit more thermal resistance and a lot of explosive and kinetic resistance. So the hull in that case would be thermal, and well, these turrets can do thermal. It is just not as good as doing kinetic or explosive. Okay, next one is this, well, this Sanch Apocalypse that's going down. I'm quite curious to see how this ship would perform solo, although I'm not permitted to do these anomalies solo, unfortunately. I have to be part of a fleet, although I can try to sneak one or two of these anomalies while everyone is sleeping, although that's not gonna work because you know, people are always active, and once they see a special anomaly they are swarming all over it, and that's good because I can be part of that type of fleet. Now, I was asked when I will do storylines with this ship very soon. I need to transport this ship into high sec, and that can be risky, especially with the recent events that were happening, and of course because of all different gate camps. And I don't want to stress out my corp mates to escort me up and down every day, so I'll have to do that alone. Just need to nail the perfect moment when everything is clear, and I think I have a time that I can use. We will see what will happen. Definitely not going to do something dumb with this ship and lose it. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? And I am known not to blow up that easily, so I have to, you know, keep up with that. Okay, well, let's see. My capacitor is getting destroyed. Okay, well, I'm getting neutralized, and my capacitor is literally getting sucked dry by these ships. The capacitor on Machariel is not that good, comparing it to the other capacitors of other faction battleships, but it's not bad either. And you just witnessed one of my Cinnabals getting sold there. Fun fact, I actually had 3 of these. I bought one of these a while ago, then I got my second one, and I got my third one. I just did not have any use for the third one, so I just sold it because I needed the ISK. These turrets were actually pretty damn expensive. What happened to the price? They were like 25 million a month ago, and now they are 60 million a piece. Should have bought them when they were cheap. But it's fine. It's not like I don't have any ISK. I mean, people literally tell me that I have more ISK in my assets than some corporations, so yeah. I cannot complain about something being expensive because I can just afford it without... What happened to this? Yep, this ship got stuck. It got stuck on this crate here, or on this structure. This is literally my worst nightmare. Imagine getting stuck on something like this and someone decides to warp in with a full fleet, for example. Yeah, that's some bad luck right there, and this NPC did nail that bad luck perfectly. On the head. Oh man. Yep, this Abaddon is having a very bad day, although it is the elite ship. Weird elite ship that got stuck on such a structure. Definitely will have to, you know, report that issue to the developers. I would not like to get stuck in that. Like, if that happens, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I will be pissed, and that's not gonna end up well. And the last ship on the field, I think, might be more waves. As you could see, the artillery performed quite well. I think very soon this ship will be used for a fleet, because we will have some action, most likely. I don't know. I hope that we'll have some action. That I would definitely love to use this ship in a fleet, because that's one of the reasons why I actually fly it. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.